His name was Michael Donald, and he was just 19 years old. The police was alerted, but they took a brief look at his body and shrugged. Just another black man in the wrong woods, they said.
It's so crazy because it's cops like that now. It's cops just like that now. They don't give a fuck about us.
Marion Gregory was one of the countless black men who worked the sawmills of the Deep South. Day after day, he would return home with sawdust in his clothes and splinters in his hands, carrying just enough money to keep his family alive. But a lot.
That's crazy, bro. Y'all don't think about that in back in the days? Black men work so hard, about 22 hours a day, to bring home the bare minimum.
To the men who had taken her child from her, she spoke words that would echo through history. I do forgive you. From the day I found out who you all was, I asked God to take care of y'all, and he has. Even as the prosecution pushed for the
saying, bro, you pray to that man above, bro. You don't gotta do anything. You don't gotta lift a finger or nothing. Just let him take the wheel. Everything gonna fall in place. He did it then, he doing it now. You feel me?
This is an Ivan-based exclusive.
Fast money and no money, you got it or you don't.
Huh? They be like, yo, you killing the flow. I came in the shit and went straight to the dough. But shout out to Mo. I'm talking lotto, this beef shit is slow. Got weed by the O.
Yo. YouTube gang. Welcome back to my reaction to your news. Now today, I'm gonna start doing there's a start something special. I feel like a lot of people forgot, a lot of black people forget about their black history. So from now on, every Friday is gonna be Forgotten Fridays. And on today's episode of Forgotten Fridays, we're gonna touch base on a girl that sued the KKK. A lady that sued the KKK, excuse me. Her name was Beulah May. You know what I mean? Let's jump right into the video and see what she did, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if y'all think fuck with this shit. You feel me?
March 21st, 1981, Mobile, Alabama. In the dead of night, a tree was found with something strange hanging from it. It was the lifeless body of a young black man, a victim of a horrific act of violence. He had been beaten, strangled, and in his final moments, his life was taken in a cruel and deliberate manner. But even that wasn't enough for his killers. They left him hanging, a grim message to the world. His name was Michael Donald, and he was just 19 years old. The police was alerted, but they took a brief look at his body and shrugged. Just another black man in the wrong woods, they said.
It's so crazy because it's cops like that now. It's cops just like that now. They don't give a fuck about us.
Whoever did this to him was confident, arrogant enough that they weren't going to be caught. After all, they wore white hoods and burned crosses. But what they didn't realize was that the night the Klan members in Alabama hanged that poor black man from the tree, they may as well have sealed the fate of one of the Klan's most powerful factions. They had awakened a grieving mother's fury, and their lives, their organization's integrity, and their names would be destroyed in its wake. To understand how one woman brought one of America's oldest organization to its knees.
I'm not too familiar myself about this lady, but I heard she was on her bully, you feel me? I heard she's the reason why the KK really dismantled. That's how you said it, you're right. You feel me? She's on her bully, man.
We need to go back to Delisle, Mississippi, where on October 10th, 1920, a girl named Beulah May Gregory was born into a world that offered her people little more than hardship and hatred. Her father, Marion Gregory, was one of the countless black men who worked the sawmills of the Deep South. Day after day, he would return home with sawdust in his clothes and splinters in his hands, carrying just enough money to keep his family alive. But a lot.
That's crazy, bro. Y'all don't think about that in back in the days? Black men work so hard, about 22 hours a day, to bring home the bare minimum.
Wasn't enough. He wanted his 8 children to thrive. Her mother, Mary Gregory.
God damn, nigga said 8 children. He was fucking. He ain't give a fuck about no segregation or anything. I'm just saying, he said 8 children. He was in that bitch like. Sorry.
Was a laundress. In the sweltering Mississippi heat, she would wash and iron clothes of white families, a job that barely paid enough to put food on the table. But Mary Gregory knew something about dignity. She taught her children that poverty might determine their circumstances, but it would never determine their worth. Like many black children.
I like that. Clock that. I had to clock that. You heard the quote? Did y'all hear the quote?
Yeah, I did.
You heard the quote? I'm gonna run it back one time.
Poverty might determine their circumstances, but Mary Gregory knew something about dignity. She taught her children that poverty might determine their circumstances, but it would never determine their worth. Like many black children of her time.
Poverty might determine their circumstances, but poverty would never determine their worth. Preach, man.
She balanced her schoolwork with helping her family survive, but in 10th grade, she got pregnant, and in the segregated South of 1936, that meant the end of her education. She left school and began working in a hotel to support herself. At just 16 years old, she married William Miller and traded her classroom for a hotel cleaning cart. The same hands that once held textbooks now scrubbed floors and changed sheets. But Beulah May wasn't finished writing her story. Through it all, she found solace in her faith. The Southern Baptist Convention became her sanctuary, and in those wooden pews, surrounded by hymns and prayers, she built the foundation of her strength.
Alright, I got a question. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, do you think they plan to take this picture like this? Like one group picture? Or you think somebody screamed, everybody looked, and they just snapped it? Ah! Okay.
Pews, surrounded by hymns and prayers, she built the foundation of her strength, a strength that would one day shake the pillars of white America to their core. By the 1960s, Beulah May was divorced and raising 2 children on her own. Then she met David Donald. Their marriage brought 5 more children, including her youngest, Michael.
God damn, she ain't waste no time. She was throwing that ass on him. Damn.
This marriage, too, would end in divorce when David moved to New York City. Beulah May had a choice: follow her husband north or stay in the South. She chose to return to Mobile, Alabama, where her aging parents needed her care. In Mobile's public housing, Beulah May Donald raised her children with the same dignity her mother had taught her. She worked hard, loved fiercely, and held fast to her faith. This was the same woman who would one day make history, not because she wanted to, but because she had to. A hotel worker and single mother. When the Klan took her youngest son from her, they thought they could get away with it. They thought they were messing with a powerless black woman.
Question: Did the boy do anything or anything like that, or they just took him just to take him?
I don't remember. When I read it, it was. Hold on. I want to say it right now.
Oh, it was like an Emmett Till situation. He's trying to holler at a white girl.
I don't remember hearing anything about white women when I read about it. I could be wrong.
Yo, back in the days, this is crazy, bro. Like,
it says they lynched her son to send a message.
also basically for no reason.
They abducted him from a street in Mobile, Alabama.
That's
it
crazy.
was ritual terror meant to remind black people that white supremacy still believed it ruled the night.
That's OD. I couldn't be a parent back in the days. Because if my child got lynched, I'm going out guns blazing. You feel me?
Well, they thought wrong. By the way, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more videos and helps us spread awareness about Mike for freedom, on that fateful night on March 21st, 1981, Michael was working at the Mobile Press Register and was attending Carver State Technical College. That week in Birmingham, a trial had ended. A black man accused of eliminating a white police officer, walked free when the jury couldn't reach a verdict. For the United Klans of America, this was an insult that demanded blood. They didn't care whose blood. Any black
Oh, so they was butthurt that the one who killed their white friend got away with it.
man would do. And so that evening, they prowled Mobile's streets looking for someone guilty of being black. And Michael Donald was walking home. What happened next was an act of calculated terror. They forced him into their car. They beat him. They choked him. Then, as if to announce their barbarism to the world, they hanged his body from a tree. But the Klan wasn't finished. That same night, while a mother still waited for her son to come home, they burned a cross on the Mobile County Courthouse lawn. It was their signature, their celebration, their message to every black person in Mobile. This could be you. This could be your child. The next morning, Mobile awakened to what should have been unthinkable in 1981. A young black man hanging from a tree, a hate crime as old as the South itself. Naturally, the police had their own story ready before the investigation even began. A street deal gone wrong, they said. Maybe an affair with the wrong woman.
My nigga, that is so OD, bro. The cops even try to cover it up.
They do the same thing now.
Yeah, they do. But it was way worse back then. Like that's OD. Cops now is OD though.
Now a lot of cops are KKK members.
Yeah, low key.
They just changed the uniform they dress up in.
Okay, you preaching back there. Heard you, sis.
Anything but what it clearly was. Anything but the truth. Beulah Mae Donald already knew in her bones, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. This was a woman who had cleaned hotel rooms to feed her children and had chosen duty over comfort, built a life from nothing but faith and determination.
There's nothing more scarier than a praying,
God-fearing,
grieving,
Christian woman.
God-fearing Christian woman. Matter of fact, black woman. There's nothing more scary than that, bro. And there's no justice was done. Bro, she's scary, bro. She's scary.
And now, they were telling her that her youngest son, who worked at the local newspaper and attended technical college, was mixed up in illegal substances. As weeks turned into months, the investigation stalled. The same police department that had been quick to blame Michael was now slow to find his killers. But by the summer of 1981,
That's because people that was in the KKK covered up got the badge on too.
protests filled the streets of Mobile, demanding the investigation continue. The community wouldn't let Michael's murder be forgotten or dismissed. The streets of downtown Mobile filled with protesters, but they weren't just marching for Michael anymore. They were marching for every black child who'd ever been called a criminal, every mother who'd ever been told to accept injustice as the natural order of things. For 2 years, Beulah Mae Donald fought a system designed to silence her. She refused to let her son be branded a criminal. She refused to let his murder be forgotten. While the local police tried to bury the case, she kept building pressure. She worked closely with U.S. Attorney Thomas Figures, who would become one of her strongest allies in the fight for justice. Together, they kept pushing the FBI to dig deeper, to ask harder questions, to follow leads the local authorities had ignored. In 1983, two names emerged: Henry Hayes and James Tiger Knowles, members of the United Klans of America. The case that police had tried to dismiss as a
United Klans of America. Kiss ass.
deal was finally revealed for what it was. In a historic trial, Hayes faced a jury of 11 white people and 1 black person. The evidence was clear. The verdict was guilty. Henry Hayes would be sentenced to death, the first white man in Alabama to receive the death penalty for killing a black person since 1913. James Tiger Knowles.
Oh my God, you know how good that would have felt? No, I'm not racist, I'm just saying.
You saying what?
Like, you know how
The
good,
first white person would have been found guilty and murdered?
Yeah.
And sentenced to the death penalty?
like, that's crazy.
If they deserve it, they deserve it.
They did, yeah, like, ain't no such thing, ain't no race over here. I mean, if you murder somebody, you pay the consequences.
Exactly.
But back in the days, these white people thought they was God. But it's black people like this lady right here is the reason why we are free today. Somewhat.
Made a different choice. He pleaded guilty and agreed to testify, trading the death penalty for life in prison. The truth of that night was finally coming to light, piece by brutal piece. Face to face with her son's killers, she did something extraordinary, something that would shake the foundations of hatred itself. To the men who had taken her child from her, she spoke words that would echo through history. I do forgive you. From the day I found out who you all was, I asked God to take care of y'all, and he has. Even as the prosecution pushed for the
saying, bro, you pray to that man above, bro. You don't gotta do anything. You don't gotta lift a finger or nothing. Just let him take the wheel. Everything gonna fall in place. He did it then, he doing it now. You feel me?
penalty, Beulah May stood firm in her opposition. The woman whose son had been shown no mercy now chose to show mercy herself. But make no mistake, her forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was strength. And she wasn't finished yet. While the criminals were finally convicted, Beulah had something else in mind. She had a bigger target, the organization that had bred these men, that had taught them hate, and that had set them loose on that March night to hunt for any black man they could find. The criminal courts had given her justice against 2 men, but Beulah knew it was just putting bandages to wound. She wanted to destroy the source of the disease, and she was about to take on the United Klans of America, one of the largest and most violent Klan groups in the nation. After the criminal convictions, Morris Dees from the Southern Poverty Law Center, an American nonprofit legal organization, saw an opportunity no one had ever tried before. In 1984, they filed a historic civil lawsuit, Beulah May Donald versus the United Klans of America. This wasn't just another civil suit. Dees and attorney Michael Figures, Thomas's brother, who had now taken Beulah's case, were about to argue something unprecedented, that the United Klans of America should be held responsible for training Henry Hayes and James Knowles, for teaching them to hate, for creating the climate that led to Michael Donald's murder. Their target was Unit 900. To understand the magnitude of what Beulah May Donald was about to accomplish, we need to understand what she was up against. The Klan wasn't just one organization, it was a network of different groups. The United Klans of America was one of its most powerful factions, operating across the nation. And in Mobile, Alabama, they had Unit 900, also known as Claiborne 900, one of their most violent local chapters. This wasn't just about one murder anymore. This was about dismantling a system that had operated with impunity for over a century. Figures and Dees would argue that when you train people for violence, you can't hide behind plausible deniability when they commit it. The Klan's lawyers saw the writing on the wall. They offered Beulah May Donald $1 million to settle quietly. It was life-changing money for a woman who had cleaned hotel rooms all her life. But they had...
Do you think a grieving mother that want justice gonna take that $1 million? After what y'all did to her son and to her? Come on, bro. She on a mission. $1 million not gonna stop her mission.
Fundamentally misunderstood who they were dealing with. She didn't want their money. She wanted every detail exposed in court. She wanted every connection between the Klan and her son's murder drawn in clear lines that no one could ignore. She wanted the truth, no matter the cost. On February 12, 1987, after 6 years of fighting, Beulah May Donald faced an all-white
Damn, that shit took 6 years? Damn.
Jury in Alabama, the same state where all-white juries had historically freed lynch mobs, was about to make a different kind of history. $7 million in damages, but the money wasn't the real victory. This verdict established that hate groups could be held financially liable for the violence they promoted. It
7 M's?
But they didn't have it.
created the legal framework for bankrupting organizations that taught hate. Michael Figures and Morris Dees had created a blueprint for dismantling hate groups through the courts. By May 1987, the United Klans of America was finished. They surrendered the deed to their national headquarters.
Yo, bro, you know how mad they was? They lost in court, and it was all white juries. Like, even back then, there was some good white people. That's why I don't hate white people now. Some of them is ass, but some of them have a good heart. But what she did, though, it didn't have the 7 million. So they gave her their property? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And now, that's one reason why they disbanded. They had no way to do their shit at, B.
Tuscaloosa, the organization that had once terrorized the South, was being dismantled not by federal troops or legislation, but by a mother's determination to find justice. The case set a precedent that would echo through American legal history. It established the foundation for civil suits against hate groups. After Beulah May Donald, no hate group could safely claim they weren't responsible for the violence they preached. By November 1987, the money still hadn't come, but when reporters asked Beulah May about it, she revealed the true heart of her fight. "I wanted to be assured. I wasn't even thinking about the money. If I hadn't gotten a cent, it wouldn't have mattered. I wanted to know how and why they did it." Michael Figures had recognized what they had achieved. She was the rock on which all of this was ultimately built. The recognition came swiftly. Ms. Magazine named her one of their 1987 Women of the Year. Essence Magazine honored her courage. The Candace Award in 1988 recognized what she had accomplished. On September 17th, 1988, Beulah May Donald passed away from natural causes in a mobile hospital. She left no will, and her estate went to 2 of her daughters. But her real legacy was in the courtrooms of America, where her case had changed the rules of engagement in the fight against organized hate. Michael Figures was right when he called her the rock on which all of this was ultimately built. But even he might not have seen how far her influence would reach. Today, every lawsuit that holds a hate group accountable for violence, every case that follows the money trail of organized hatred, every victory won in civil court against those who preach violence, all of them stand on the foundation that Beulah May Donald built. She never sought vengeance. She sought truth, and in finding it, she gave America something more powerful than any weapon, a way to fight hate with the law itself, a way to make those who preach violence answer for its consequences, a way to bring down the mighty not with force, but with justice. If you want to learn more about freedom fighters who stood up for black justice, check out our video on.
And that comes to say, like, there's so many lessons in this video. One lesson I just took that a lot of people need to take, especially these YNs, just because somebody killed your friend, your brother, anything, you don't have to go and retaliate in violence. You don't have to. They murdered her son, hung him. They didn't hung him, take it down. They hung him so everybody could see who they are. And what she did, went to court, look her son killing the eyes, I forgive you. And she took everything else to the court. Believed in God and no violence. But shout out to Beulah May Gregory. You feel me? You're an important person in history. I thank you for everything you did. Feel me? Let me know what other leaders, what they call freedom fighters? But yeah, so this is a new segment I'm gonna start doing. Forgotten Fridays, man. I know for sure a lot of people forgot about her. A lot of people didn't even know about her. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.